Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeff with Country Roads Adventures. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I want to talk to you about the 5 things that I always take in my backpack whenever I'm going hiking. So stay tuned, that's coming up. So the other day, I went hiking with my friend Bob, and a shout out to Bob because it was his first hike and it was a very enjoyable day. When I got back from that hike and began to unload my day pack, the thought occurred to me that the same 5 items that I had in my backpack that day are the same 5 items that I have in my backpack regardless of where I'm going. Now I will add to those items depending on what I know about the trail. So by no means am I suggesting that you should take what I take or that it's exactly 5 items or anything like that. But what I would suggest to you is that you give thought to what you know and don't know about the trail that you're going to be hiking to make sure that you're adequately supplied and equipped when you hit the trail. So those 5 items that I had with me that day are: number 1, I always take a fixed blade full tang knife with me. Now, fixed blade simply being it's not a folding pocket knife. Full tang simply mean the tang is the back of the knife, that the full tang, the metal in the knife runs from end to end, which it makes it more sturdy and stable. If you're processing wood, if you're maybe cutting or hacking a limb off to make a debris shelter, or maybe it's just something simple as cutting cord for a shelter in the woods. So I always have a fixed blade full tang knife on me whenever I set foot on a trail. The second thing that I always make sure that I have with me is cordage. Now this is 550 paracord. Any paracord is going to work for what I'm talking about. Probably any cordage around your house. I take about 50 yards of it. You probably don't need that much, but I use it specifically, or take it specifically, in case I need to make shelter on trail. So the third thing that I always take with me is a tarp. Now this is a very lightweight tarp. It is a 6x8 tarp made by Outdoor Products. I picked it up off of Amazon for $5, so you can't beat that. It's very lightweight. Even though they say it's 6x8, I think it's probably closer to 5x7. But if I have a tarp and I have some paracord and a knife to cut that paracord or some way to sever that paracord, I can make a temporary shelter if I need to, and it's very lightweight. The fourth thing that I take with me, probably no surprise, is a small fire kit. I tend to kit my supplies so I can pick and choose what I need for a given hike. So I keep a few basic items in a Ziploc bag. There are just a couple cotton balls and some petroleum jelly just squeezed into or slapped into a little Ziploc bag to put on the cotton balls to help start the fire. A little hack or something you can also do if you're in your local convenience store or coffee shop, there's all those little wooden stirrers. Grab a couple of those, snap them in 2, throw a rubber band around them, and you've got some pretty dry kindling if you need that to help you get started. And of course, a small Bic lighter. I always have that in my fire kit as well. The last item that I take is a little first aid kit. This, much like the fixed blade knife that I mentioned earlier, are probably controversial with a lot of hikers. It's something I'm comfortable in doing, and I don't take that much. I realize that some hikers believe if you have to take more than 2 Band-Aids, you should simply get off trail. But it's what I'm comfortable with. It's what I think I should have with me while I'm hiking. And it gives me a little bag to put a couple extra items in. So I have 2 items today that I take regularly that I actually duplicate, and I'll mention those. But in my little medical kit are some little alcohol swabs should I have a cut. I also have some of those cotton swabs, pointy on one end, a little round on the other end, which makes it pretty easy to apply the antibiotic ointment that I always have with me. And this is about a half a tube. I usually take a used tube from around the house, don't need much, and it cuts down on a little bit of weight. I always have with me a little tick key to remove any ticks that I might have on me. One of the 2 things that I duplicate in my medical kit bag is another lighter. It's just something I'm comfortable with. These are the mini Bics. They don't weigh much. Doesn't hurt to take 2 should you lose one. I do try to keep them in bright colors, so if I drop them, I can find them. But I do take a second lighter in that kit, and sometimes I'll use that lighter if necessary to basically sterilize a couple safety pins that I can use if I have a blister or something like that. Another item that I take is just a little, and a bit of a hack here, a little Lyco tape with me. Now this is what it's wrapped around, is a little green straw that I've wrapped it around and then cut it off so the straw weighs virtually nothing. The other item that I duplicate is I do have a second knife. Now you'll notice this is just one of the little Swiss knives. I do tie some bright paracord around it, so again, if I drop it, it's pretty easy to find for me. What I really like about this, I don't necessarily use the knife a lot, but it does have a set of tweezers that comes with it, and if you need it, a little toothpick. So I find that handy and not weighing much, so I do put that in my little first aid kit as well. The proverbial 2 Band-Aids. Yes, I do take 2 Band-Aids with me. And the last thing I take is some Benadryl should I have some kind of allergic reaction to something. So those are the 5 items I always carry in my bag. Think about what you should carry in yours, and I'll see you next time right here on Country Roads Adventures.